Liars! All kinds of lies about us preppers. I take the word prepping with passion, with my life, and they throw lies about us.
They do.
All kinds of lies about us. So I'm sure you experienced this too. So we're going to go through the 10 lies that they say about preppers, and of course debunk each one.
Number 1, you're crazy.
Stockpiling, prepping, those are for just those crazy conspiracy theorists. Are you crazy conspiracy theorist?
I guess I am.
Yeah, so it's really funny how they call us crazy. Even like mainstream media, those evil dogs call us crazy. But yet it's the mainstream media and government agencies that tell us to prep.
They do.
FEMA, ready.gov, all those things. And it's really funny how FEMA tells us to prep, but yet actually can't help get to the Superdome and actually help people out. Yeah. They tell us to prep. They have a list. We've actually gone through those lists. We're not crazy. We're just preparing because guess what? The government's not here to help us. Number 2, no money.
We get this one all the time. People say they don't have the money to prep, but it's not true.
Not true at all. In fact, I'll say it again, with inflation going up and up and up, you can't afford to not prep. Because you have an extra dollar now to buy an extra can of whatever it is, can of corn. That same can of corn a few months from now is going to be more than $1. You can see inflation is going out of control. So buy it now for $1, or next time it's going to be $1.50 or $2.
Number 3, food expires.
Wait, that's why we have expiration dates, right? That's why it's stamped right on the can?
Yep. No.
I mean, sometimes they actually are truthful and say best buy dates, buy it by or use it by a certain time. But I'll tell you, when it comes to canned food, that can is sterile. There really is no expiration date. We've said it so many times. But even more so, if it's like tangy or acidic, like tomato sauce or fruit or something, it'll start tasting metallic-y. But it's still edible.
It is.
Yeah, so that's another lie too about those expiration dates. They want you to buy more.
Exactly.
They want you to throw that pineapple away and buy another can. Number 4, preppers are hoarders.
We've heard this scenario many times, that we're hoarders. It's not.
Yeah, and the thing is, let's go ahead and look at the clinical definition for hoarding. It's somebody who perceives value in everything and therefore doesn't throw it away. Those are hoarders. I mean, I would say that when it comes to prepping or even like just farming, that if you actually have some extra baling wire instead of trashing it, there is value to it because you can actually wire up whatever you need to. But that's not what prepping is. Prepping, we actually hold on to things that really do have value, such as, food and water, things you'll actually need. So that's a load of garbage right there too. Even though I think people use a lay term though. Yeah. We're going to hoard this cans of corn. That's not hoarding officially by the definition. No. That's simply just stockpiling.
Number 5, stockpiling only. We find this the most, that people think that you should just stockpile and that should be it.
Yeah, stockpiling food or items, whatever. But that should not be our goal. This is probably the number 1 lie of preppers. You should not be simply storing food, but you should actually try to get towards sustainability as well. Have some fruit trees, grow a garden, raise a couple chickens, or something that'll continue providing food for you instead of simply just stockpiling corned beef hash all the time. Number 6, it doesn't go bad. I think newbie preppers think certain things will never go bad. Like white rice will practically never go bad as long as you, store it. Store it correctly or freeze it ahead of time. What else? Like dry beans. Yeah. Dry beans will never go bad if you prepare them properly, like with an oxygen absorber in a Mylar bag, sure. But I think the big problem with lies on this one is a lot of preppers think you can simply just take stuff and stash it away, like certain dry goods like beans or even like pasta. Yeah. People say all the time, pasta will never go bad. It will start turn nasty over time. But again, as long as you, preserve it the right way. Yeah. Store it. Yeah. Words I'm looking for. Store it with oxygen absorbers. Then you may be true, but you can't simply just put that stuff away and hope 20 years from now it'll be good.
Number 7, buy freeze-dried. Freeze-dried food are so awesome, but so expensive.
Yeah, and I think that people really fall into that you should buy nothing but freeze-dried stuff all the time. And pound for pound, you can't compare with canned food. You can buy a can of freeze-dried chicken or buy some cans of tuna, and you'd be amazed the amount of cans of tuna you could buy for that same thing of freeze-dried chicken. So I'm not against freeze-dried stuff. No, we love it. We've got a bunch of freeze-dried stuff, and we want to freeze-dry ourselves. Well, not ourselves. Yeah. It's really weird. But freeze-dry our own food. But especially when you're starting out or if you have limited funds, canned food is your best bet. And don't get suckered into thinking you always have to buy freeze-dried stuff or what is it called? Multi-level marketing, like Thrive Life. nothing against Thrive Life or any freeze-dried stuff. It's just, again, it's super expensive, and you don't need to take that avenue at all. You could literally prep yourself for 20 years of food, and none of it is freeze-dried if you wanted to. Number 8, throw it anywhere.
We've made this mistake before, just throwing it wherever.
Yeah, and also not putting it in Mylar bags, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But there's certain foods, water, etc. You don't want to have it where it's going to be warm. You don't want to have it so there's sunlight going on it. I mean, most foods have different requirements like that.
They do.
But you can't just throw it anywhere. And that's a lot of people think, especially when they get into prepping at the very beginning. They start stockpiling, and then they throw this stuff anywhere. And now suddenly they're wondering why their food went bad after a year or two.
Or maybe critters got into it too.
Oh yes, those darn little nasty critters.
Yes.
Critters.
Those mice really like those nuts you have in those basement. Number 9, white rice is the best.
Is it?
It is compared to brown rice.
Yeah, that's true. But people, I mean, when it comes to stockpiling, if you actually, I think, just did a poll across the United States, what do you stockpile when you stockpile? I think rice is probably the number one thing because it's cheap.
It is.
It's so inexpensive. You can buy it at bulk at any warehouse store or other places too, for that matter. It stores great. It's really easy just to store without going bad. But is white rice the best for you? It is like so high carbohydrate, bad for you calories.
It is.
We stockpile it too. We have rice, of course we do. But I think what you need to do though is make it so the rice helps your meal.
Yes, don't make it the main meal.
Right, just actually have a side dish of rice. Again, it's good for energy. And I'll tell you, when crap hits the fan,
You're going to need it.
you're going to be spending a lot of energy just getting things done. It's no longer sitting at your desk and typing on the computer all the time. You're going to be working your hiney off. And white rice will help. I mean, look, stockpile rice,
Yeah.
but it is not the only go-to by any means. You should have a lot of other stuff. Rice should only be one small part of it. Number 10, just eat it. So you get a can of food out. We've all been there. You get this can, 1942 surplus, and you wonder, should I eat this or not? Again, we've had a video out about what to look for canned food, and also a video out talking about how canned food will save your hiney because it does last, practically speaking, forever. But I will warn you, you can't simply just assume canned food, or other food too, mind you, is going to be good.
Yeah.
So you just eat it?
I don't know. I've thrown it away sometimes 'cause
Yeah, I know.
it's gross.
You wonder, exactly.
You open it up and it's got the slimy film. I tossed it. It was gross.
And again, our modern cans are set up so they will last forever. The tuna will be more like mushy tuna in 20 years. Your canned beans will be mushy, liquidy canned beans in 20 years, but it'll still be nutritious.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, though, don't just assume you want to eat it because botulism is that silent killer. And if it gets in there, it's odorless, colorless. It doesn't discriminate. It'll kill everybody equally. It's horrible stuff. But you won't know it has it in there unless you see certain things with a can, for example. You break the seal, or if the can's bulging out, etc. In fact, we're going to go ahead and leave you with that. There's your top 10 things we're looking at as far as calling us liars. Well, not anymore. We showed you. But you do want to check out this video here where we're talking about what to look for in canned food, because it is vitally important.
It is.
Because if you break that seal or see certain things with the can, you open it and it explodes everywhere.
You probably shouldn't eat that.
Yeah, probably don't want to eat that. All right, thanks for following along.